San Diego 6's Mike Dinow live in Pacific Beach where the burglary happened. Mike?
That's right, Jim. This is actually where it happened. The burglar broke in through this window. He stole several $1,000s in merchandise, but little did he know everything he was doing was being captured on videotape just yards away. Jeff, for the sake of the investigation, we have chosen not to give the address of this home directly behind me in this Capistrano neighborhood, where the homeowner tells us while doing landscaping work in her backyard, workers dug up the partial bones of a human being. I'm actually standing exactly where it took place, right in front of this Parkside apartment complex. It happened right here on the ground. Now, after 7 hours of investigation, the device was determined to be nothing more than a sophisticated-looking hoax. The 14-year-old student, police say, goes to school right behind me, right here at Rancho Bernardo High School. They say he opened a fictitious Facebook account under another student's name, and then in that student's name threatened to kill fellow classmates. The 14-year-old says it was all a joke, but police and parents here definitely not laughing.
I was just blown away.
Alex Smith could not believe what his home security camera captured. A burglar breaking into his neighbor's home.
There's this guy just pacing back and forth, looking through the window, just really shady character. And
the man walks back and forth several times, appearing to make sure the coast is clear. He then easily removes the screen, but discovers the partially open window is secured with a stick. But he's able to squeeze in and remove it. After that, he's quickly in and loading up with about $5,000 worth of electronics, including 2 laptop computers. As he's about to leave, the family cat comes in the room, and the burglar immediately tosses the animal out of the window. But why throw the cat out the window, who, by the way, is named Chuck Norris and looks to be in good spirits despite the ordeal? The homeowner believes the burglar tossed the cat so when they returned home, they would spend their time looking for the animal and not realize their stuff was gone.
so we'll go back and it pulls the footage from that night.
Alex says his home security system is relatively cheap and easy to set up. 2 cameras in the front and 2 in the back.
Wires into kind of like a router, if you will. You can view it remotely.
And the recent burglary was not the first crime Alex's cameras captured.
Landed right in front of my neighbor's house and found a purse in there, broke the window.
Although the suspects in both crimes have not been caught, Alex's security video will definitely help police in their investigation.
Saw cop cars out here, a couple dogs, and that's about it.
Neighbor Anthony Barrios says initially he had no idea why investigators were at this Capistrano neighborhood home.
I don't know what to think of that, really, man. I don't know what to think of that. It's disgusting.
Disgusting because small bone fragments were found in the backyard that the medical examiner determined were human.
I got a 5-year-old, so I want to keep away from that.
Oceanside police say while landscapers were doing work in the backyard, they dug up the bone fragments about 6 inches below the surface of compacted dirt.
Like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Bob Mathis lives next door and says only in the movies has he seen anything like this.
Maybe they, somebody got killed and they wanted to bury him to get rid of him.
Investigators say workers in the backyard first removed concrete steps before finding the bones. They believe the bones may have been under the steps for at least 30 years, but the homeowner, who wished not to be identified, says it must have been much longer. She moved in during the 80s. Either way, neighbors are a bit disturbed.
I think that's weird. It's weird. There's human bones from 30 years ago.
A background check of the home shows it was purchased by a man with the initials MTS in 1980. The woman living there now confirmed that was her husband, who is now deceased.
There was a posting on Facebook saying that there was going to be a mass shooting at the school.
Police say that prompted many concerned parents to contact Rancho Bernardo High School, who immediately notified police.
Police department went out to the school and we contacted the student whose Facebook it was posted on. We quickly learned that that particular student was the unwitting victim.
The victim of another 14-year-old student who stole his identity to make the Facebook page. Police quickly figured out the true culprit, who had posted the horrific threats.
He admitted it. He said that he didn't want to harm anybody at the school, that it was just a prank.
A prank that has gotten the Rancho Bernardo High School freshman into a lot of trouble, and apparently several of his close friends as well.
4 of the boys maybe were playing video games on the couch, The other boy was on a computer.
Tina Rampoldi says her son and 3 other boys were suspended from school for 2 days for being in the same room with the 14-year-old suspect while the Facebook page was created and the postings were made.
She says, well, he should have told. I said, agreed. However, at 14 years old, their minds aren't developed enough to understand that you need to go tell authority.
Tina agreed to be interviewed in hopes of trying to spread a positive message during this very negative situation.
We just need to have a better grip on what our kids are writing. It's how they're utilizing that tool. That's the key. You know, utilizing it the right way, using it for the right purposes.
School officials say they have no comment while the investigation continues. Police say the 14-year-old suspect is facing numerous charges, including making terrorist threats and impersonating another. Live in Rancho Bernardo, Mike Dinow, San Diego 6 News.